Good morning and welcome back to Teal House Farm. It is finally spring, warming up, and we are getting ready to make some dandelion jelly. This is our spring tradition, but you gotta wait for there to be enough dandelions to be able to do this. So we're gonna need 2 to 3 cups of dandelions, and the actual recipe calls for 2, but I find dandelions are kind of hard to pack in that measuring cup, so I always aim for more than 3 because what you don't want is weak dandelion tea to make your jelly from, otherwise you're going to lose all the flavor. So I aim for more like 3 cups. We're just going to pop the heads off the dandelion. You don't need the stem or the leaves, you just want the top part. So putting them between 2 fingers and pulling up is the easiest way to do that. Once we all fill up our cups, we work together so it goes pretty quickly, and then we're going to need to bring them inside. The kids always have so much fun doing this. They've been asking to do this for weeks. We've just been waiting for there to be enough flowers. I've got them all collected inside. I'm going to give them a nice little rinse. The best time to pick them is first thing in the morning or in the evening before it gets too hot, because the flowers can close up if it gets too warm. You want them nice and open so you can give them a good rinse and get any dirt or bugs out of your flowers. Once we give them a rinse, we're going to go ahead and put them in a heat-safe container. So I'm going to use a ceramic pitcher, and we're going to boil 4 cups of water, and we're going to pour that over our rinsed dandelion heads, and that's how we're going to make the tea. You need to steep these flower heads for at least 4 hours. I prefer to do it overnight, so I'm just going to go ahead and sit this pitcher in the refrigerator and come back for it tomorrow. We have strained out the dandelions, and then I just put the tea back in the refrigerator because I didn't have time to deal with it yesterday, but we did let them steep overnight and then strained. It's a nice dark amber color. This is going to be perfect. You need 4 cups of liquid, which is what you should get because that's what you put in, right? And so we'll need this to make our jelly. We're going to need some lemon juice, 4 cups of sugar, and then a pack of pectin. It doesn't matter if you use the powder pectin or the sure gel jelly gel pectin. Actually, I don't think that's Certo, right? Is the jelly gel pectin. It doesn't matter. But that's what you're going to need to make this. Now, it's going to make 4 half pints or 2 pints of jelly. Here's a side note. Typically, people who make dandelion jelly home can it in a water bath canner. There used to be recommendations for home canning. That is why we add the lemon juice for acidification, to help make the acidity of the dandelion jelly low enough, right, because acids are lower numbers on the scale, that it's safe for water bath canning. Hello. The problem is when you're dealing with a homemade product like dandelion tea, there isn't a real consistent acidity level of your starting product. So then the question is, how much lemon juice do you have? And the USDA recognized this issue pretty recently. I think it was just a couple years ago. A viewer alerted me to this, and they have since removed their recommendation for home processing until more tests can be done. That does not mean that if you want to continue water bath canning your dandelion jelly at home, that it is necessarily unsafe. They're saying that right now they don't have enough data to prove to you that it is safe in all circumstances, and therefore to give a recommendation. So right now the recommendation has been walked back to make your jelly, put it in clean, sterile jars or other storage container for your refrigerator, and put it in your refrigerator, or to process it like a freezer jam and keep it in your freezer. So that is what we're going to do today. Like I said, this recipe only makes a quart worth of jelly. We're going to do it in 2 half pints. For our family size, this is kind of like a treat because it tastes a lot like honey. It's going to go really fast on some cornbread and toast, so there's really no reason to need it to be shelf stable anyway. I'm not going to make jars and jars of this because I'll make a lot of fruit jam later in the season when our fruit bushes are ready. So it doesn't really annoy me to keep it in the fridge. You can make a choice for yourself. Anyway, I got some little guys that are really excited to help with this, so let's pull them inside so that they can help make some jelly. Okay, we're gonna pour our 4 cups of tea into a pot. You do want to use a larger pot than you think because this will get pretty bubbly. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and we're going to add our 1 pack of powdered pectin, and we're going to give it a good stir to get it all mixed together, and then we're going to set so that and then we're going to bring it to a boil. While I'm waiting for it to get warmed up, we're going to go ahead and wash our 2 jars real quick in soapy water, and I am going to go ahead and sterilize these. Even though we're not shelf canning, if I want them to sit in the fridge for a while, probably just a good idea to take that extra step. Once we hit a rolling boil, we add 4 cups of white sugar, and now is where the games begin. Timing is very important, so I'm going to switch out for a little bit of an older helper here since we're dealing with boiling liquid, and we're going to stir continuously until it returns to a boil. Once it returns to a boil, you need to set a timer.
Siri, set a timer for 1 minute.
1 minute of constant stirring at that rolling boil. Like I said, it will get really bubbly. See how tall it's getting? You really need to make sure you use a big pot for this, even though it's not a whole lot of liquid, so you don't get a mess in your kitchen. When the timer goes off, you immediately remove from the heat, and we're ready to put in our sterilized jars. Isla's gonna go ahead and fill those up for me. She's an expert filler these days. She does a pretty good job without making too much of a mess, and she knows how to be safe with the hot liquid. We don't have to worry about head space since we aren't processing or canning these. We're just gonna fill the jars. We will get just a little more than the 2 half pints, so I'm gonna put just a little bit extra in a bowl and we'll eat that first. It sets really well. It does take a little bit to set until it cools down, but then it's a nice firm jelly. It has a great lemon honey flavor, and it's something that we look forward to doing every year. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.